All right, so welcome to another episode of the Inquisitive Mind of Lewis T. Got some good friends with me. I'm going to go around and let them introduce themselves before we get into the topic. Always ladies first.
Yep. Hey, I'm Mackenzie. This is my second time being here. Thank you for having me again. I'm a cosplayer, big geek, into a lot of Marvel and DC stuff, big moviegoer, and my Instagram is timelady_cosplay.
And since the last time, she's recently engaged.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi. First time being here. My name is Angel. Most everybody knows me as Miyagi or Mr. Miyagi. Just also a big time geek. Starting into cosplay, but not really cosplayer. Just designing stuff and helping build other work. So you haven't seen me out there. I'm not gonna give out my Instagram. Don't worry about it. And not just overall open mind guy. Just, try to get some insights out there as well. Watch movies, comic books, the whole works.
To my left.
I'm Tim. I'm also known as Soultron. I have a music project called D&D Sluggers. I'm a member of the Nerdy People of Color Collective that you can find online just about anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, possibly MySpace. My Instagram is DD Sluggers. That's just about all my social media. I do kind of nerdy music and hang out with people like Lewis and argue about whether or not DC should have just folded a long time ago.
And I am the Inquisitive Mind of Lewis T. So I got this merry band together to talk about something that could be near and dear to our hearts, where before it used to be famine, now it seems to be feast. In 2019, will we see comic book fatigue? And I'm just going to go through some of the titles and some of the different things that's going out, and then we're just going to kind of talk about it. So already out now, we got Glass, which Mackenzie has seen, which is part of the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy with Split and Unbreakable. Coming out in February, we got the anime inspired by James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez. We got Alita, Battle Angel. Coming in March, we have Captain Marvel from part of the MCU. In April, we got Shazam and Hellboy. In May, we got Avengers and something that was kind of new to us, not on our radar, Brightburn. June, X-Men Dark Phoenix. July, we got the new Homecoming Spider-Man Far From Home, which I thought the trailer looked really amazing. Supposedly, we'll see the New Mutants movie in August. Nothing in September. October, Joker is supposed to come out. I put Spawn in November, but there's not really a date for Spawn, but there was nothing else in November. So if they are going to put it out, I would recommend November for them. And then ending the year out, which these are kind of borderline gray area, but we got Masters of the Universe movie and Star Wars Episode 9. So, I mean, every month, with the exception of September, there's a movie. And some months, there's two movies that are comic book or superhero inspired, where a few years ago, maybe 2 a year, 3 a year tops. And now, we got a dozen movies. So, how do y'all feel? Like, is this a good thing? Is it bad? What are some of the thoughts?
Well, okay. I feel like it's nice because, well, not nice for my wallet, but it is nice to have more than we used to have. However, I don't know if they could continue after this year having so many, like once, twice, like you said, each month, because there's only so much you can have and so much you can have that's original and entertaining enough for people to have them keep coming back. You can only make so many sequels. So it's nice for this year, but looking ahead, I feel like they should cut back just a little bit, make their...
So who should do the cutbacks? Who's that? I mean, because it's not like...
I mean, in general, there's nobody I'm going to target. I'm not going to target at all.
I don't know. It just seems like in general, the idea is like for a while, Hollywood, years and years ago, it was like this secret agent this year is the best, blah, blah, blah. And they just overdid those movies. After a while,
Yeah.
they got into doing too many sequels and remakes. And
Which
comic
they're still
book,
doing.
yeah, they're still into that. But comic books are kind of another property. Like, I mean, Disney knows to take an old story that people know and like and turn it into something new. That's what they're good at. That's their whole thing. Like ever since the beginning, the only original thing that they really still have credit for is Mickey Mouse, I guess, right? Just about every other thing that they have was created by somebody else. So comic books just make sense for them to take a hold of.
But I mean, it's not just like people like even though when we before the show, I was talking to my friend, and we talk about comic book movies, and that's almost coming synonymous with the MCU or Marvel or Disney. I mean, there's only out of the movie that I mentioned, 2 of them are direct Disney Marvel, and then is it 2?
Sony, Marvel.
Then you got Sony Marvel, but it's still Sony. And then you got the Fox properties, which by the time they come out, Disney might own. But I mean, there's a bunch of movies that you got DC, you got Dark Horse, which are the comic book companies behind them. You got, Spawn, which is Image. So it's not just, I mean, I know the MCU is the gold stamp.
That's the idea. Is they've inspired this new trend to go even further than it could have before. I know you remember the original Punisher movie.
Yeah, with Dolph Lundgren? Or
Yeah,
because
nobody was running out to see superhero movies after that.
I mean, I ran out to see Blade, I think.
Well, I mean,
although no.
yeah, Blade was a little while after. Well, that's a little longer after that than I remember, isn't it?
I'm not sure when the Dolph Lundgren, because I've seen that on VHS.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
What's
Angel,
VHS?
Exactly. So, Angel, how are you feeling? Like, you're someone, family man, families are all in the nerdum, geekdom. So, for you, it hits you financially more
Yes.
because movies are not cheap.
Not at all. Going to the movies today, it's it's a vacation trip. $200 every now and then.
Yeah.
If you want to see early, PBX or anything like that, or PDX, whatever, PDX.
What's the other one? PDX is if you go to Stone Theater. And,
Yeah. Anyway, these high
IMAX.
qualities and just trying to be able to, get a very good image on it. We're really meticulous about some of the things that we watch too. We like a lot of visual impact, a lot of, something that's fresh. Now, I agree with both of you. I mean, yes, it needs to be toned down a little bit, but let's be realistic. I mean, what else is there to write out right now? What they're doing basically the perfect formula. They're taking somebody who's already developed, created something of a foundation, an idea, and just bringing it to life. And in a sense, at least for my age, the idea is like, look, these are things that I saw in cartoons or read in books, and now I get to see them in live. And then, in a different character. And so while it is a little oversaturated right now, it's better than for me actually going and watching like another World War II movie or World War One movie or Vietnam.
Like how many when cowboy movies was a thing? Like how
exactly.
many? So I would definitely
the
rather
pirate
see.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Exactly. We did the pirate thing.
And I mean, I believe these movies are making way more money than any of those. Like the top movies of 2018 were all like comic book movies. Like Black Panther, Avengers were number 1 and number 2 domestically.
Aquaman.
And then,
Gonna throw
Aquaman.
that in there.
I wasn't last year. I was talking about last year.
Oh,
Well,
well,
that was
technically it's last year now.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it did. Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that made so much money. That's a whole nother topic. I'm just saying it was not that good of a movie. And not a bad movie.
To each their own.
It was very good for DC.
Was it Wonder Woman good?
Yeah, but that
Yeah.
lead-
So okay, and we'll go off subject for just a brief minute. In my opinion, Aquaman had the best CG that I've seen in like a comic book movie. Like
Agreed.
It's like way better than Wonder Woman. Like the fight scenes better than Wonder Woman, better than Black Panther. But the story was very diet RC Cola version of Black Panther, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like
So I
it was
thought-
not a bad movie because I think the story and the characters were very, very done well in Black Panther. But it's very similar but very different in Aquaman. And there was a part of the movie like right before Mira comes up. I was like, I was hitting the snooze button. And then it got better. It got a lot better after that. It's like one of my friends was texting me about it, and I was like, man, just hold in there a little bit longer. And it gets better. It's not a bad movie, and I don't dislike the movie. I am just shocked of how praised the movie is. Because I would say from 2018, there was 6 comic book movies. For me, it was, and they were all pretty good. It was my number 6 pick. Me opinion. I know other people have special memories with that movie, and I don't want to take anything away.
I know Jason Momoa's butt is in it, so a lot people gonna go.
I like Drago. What is it?
Khal Drogo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That Rocky. But anyway, like my Aquaman rant is done. But like these. So out of these movies, do y'all plan on seeing all like before? And I mean, I'm a little bit, as we established. I think this is the old side. We remember where these movies used to be few and far between.
Yeah.
So it's like you felt like you had to go see it. I don't feel like I have to go see these movies. Like me personally, off the gate, I doubt if I go to the movies to see Hellboy unless there's something amazing I hear about it. But based on the trailers, I'm probably not going to go see Hellboy. I'm probably not going to go see. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to go see the X-Men movie unless it's just like nothing else to do. And then some of them that I might, like the MCU, they got you invested. Like I want to go see Captain Marvel because it's leading into the Avengers. The Avengers is the end of that whole 10-year run. But I mean, for you, are there movies that maybe before you would have seen that you're not going to go see, or are you pretty much, it hasn't really changed for you? Anybody?
Out of the upcoming stuff, I mean, what was it again?
Brightburn.
Brightburn just caught me off guard. It did what the trailer's supposed to do. It didn't tell me a lot, but it got me interested enough that I'm now like, well, where's the line? Where is the line form? I want to be in the line now. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to read too much about it because I don't want to get spoiled on it. But I also that Superman origin story that everybody knows from the time you're 2 years old, twisted around and turned into horror. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
just
Brightburn.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying Brightburn. Was doing research for this podcast. I didn't know anything about Brightburn, and then I saw the trailer, and I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. So that is definitely. But I might go see that. Like the trailer has me sold, but but I'm almost looking at it as an experiment almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of like New Mutants. It got that horror verse and comic book feel. It's like maybe Red Sun Superman vibe a little bit. Plus they just threw James Gunn name and smacked it right all over there. They're like, we want you to know he didn't direct it, but he produced it.
He's in there.
Well, horror is a new color this year, I think, with that New Mutants upcoming in the Brightburn. Definitely goes back again to that fresh new perspective of things that I was looking for. Those two definitely are calling my attention. I'm with you in the sense of the Hellboy. Hellboy has a few things going for him. It's the original writer. You know what I'm saying? It's the actual writer of this. So if you're going to get a good insight of what Hellboy is, who better to do this? However, the way the direction is going, I mean, I'm a big fan of Game of Thrones. This is one of the directors of Game of Thrones. I understand their mindset behind it, I guess. But what I've seen on the trailers, it's just not inspiring. I love Hellboy. I love Hellboy, but
and I feel like Ron Perlman did such an iconic job. Yeah. It's almost like Blade and Wesley Snipes. Like you haven't recast that yet, but it's just like people still, even though it's been so long ago, you still holding on. Like Wesley Snipes is Blade.
He did a really good job. Like
and Ron Perlman is Hellboy.
Yeah,
but the one thing that tops that in those movies is just the mindset or the view that Del Toro gives us. Nobody can paint the picture like him, in my personal opinion, and you just kind of changing that right now for me with this writer.
Yeah.
I get the writer. It's just the direction is the only thing that I'm kind of concerned about. That's why it's not inspiring me to go to the movies. But everything else is good.
It feels a lot like in that, like, as I only read so much of the comics, but the comics always came off a little bit more campy than the art was.
Yes.
And I feel like when they did the first set of movies, they played up the seriousness and style of the art and didn't put the humor as far forward. And I think that the writer always thought that they could be just as campy and silly as the comics. I feel like the new movie's going in that direction. I don't know if it fits, especially now that we've already. It's like if somebody's been consistently feeding you like really good steak, and then you sit down, you're like, oh yeah, more steak, and they just come out with this like little flank steak, and they're like, that's the same. You're like,
are you gonna
it's the same.
Are you gonna see Hellboy?
Not sure. I feel the same way. Like it does not look. The trailer feels like what would have happened if they'd made the movie in the 80s.
Very good description.
So,
Yeah.
Mackenzie, what are you excited, or I guess in this context, what are you least excited about for 2019?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm okay. I love X-Men, but after the past movie of I can't remember the Apocalypse. I don't really want to watch the new one. I have never been a big Jean Grey fan in general with the comics. I never really felt for her character, and I don't feel like she's being shown because the Phoenix it's not a power. It's like a being in her, and they're not showing it correctly.
And then the fact that they always jump right past Phoenix and go straight to Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
So the X-Men part of it, there's so much wrong with it. I mean, I ain't gonna say wrong, but so many chinks in that armor. One, we all know that this is the end. Two, it's like they had such a great opportunity with the Phoenix. You could do the Shi'ar. And I heard that I don't know if it's something to do with Disney or not, but I heard they're going to do the Skrulls instead of the Shi'ar. Why? It's just
that's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. And then it just doesn't look good. And then they got one of the writers from the old crappy X-Men Phoenix movie. So, and he's he's directing this one. And then I got something. You were talking about the writer from the actual Hellboy comics is doing the movie. Mm-hmm. You saying that's a good thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't know if that's not, because with Spawn, another one. My judgment's out on that because I haven't seen the trailer, and they got Jamie Foxx, so that's all plus. Well, Jamie Foxx is potentially a plus, even though I hated him in that Spider-Man 2. But Todd McFarlane is directing that, and I don't know. He's never directed anything.
I agree.
And so I don't know if that's necessarily I would love his involvement in it, but and I feel like y'all are more in the culture than me, but I talked to the guys out of Memory Lane or at Fanboy Comics, and they just talk about how McFarlane is pretty much, they look at him as a suit now. He's not of the culture, even though he's
kind of like a Jeff Gordon now. Yeah, I mean, he used to, but now he's behind the scenes.
Yeah, so.
But that's the thing that I kind of appreciate about that. He's trying to put himself out there again front and get his visual aspect into. Just project his vision into an actual movie. If you're going to get somebody who's actually done the artwork, some of the stories behind, you kind of want to have that feeling. It will give you a little bit more of a close relationship with what you're seeing.
But is it better to do that? Better to do that as an addition to what's going on instead of them being at the helm, because they may not be able to translate their vision on paper to.
When has a director ever paid attention to a producer?
Well, no, I don't even mean. I don't even mean
Kevin Feige. They pay attention to him.
My idea is that directors are always gonna get whatever they see in their mind, and they're gonna have whatever visual effects and all that other stuff. That's fine. But typically, if you actually have somebody who envisioned this initially, projected into paper, now they're actually projected into movie. It's like this is exactly how I wanted to see. You're getting a much more insight of the actual person who created this. That to me kind of gives me a little bit more it gets me a little bit more excited if I may, right?
No, I agree.
It's just like with the Hellboy thing. You're actually having somebody who put this pen into paper, and actually gave some life to it when you were reading it. Now they're actually a person who's getting involved in this. One of the things that we missed out with the original X-Men, what happened? They ignored everything that the writers of X-Men actually did. Everything. The only thing that wasn't ignored is their looks. but stories, ideas, concepts, how did they actually became to who they are, the arguments and all that other stuff, that was all thrown out.
Yeah.
Why? Because the director did not want to listen. You know, he wanted the writers to do certain things specifically for the drama effect. And what has that done? It's, you know, for us who actually love these books, these stories that we've grown with them, it sets us apart. We love seeing them, but not the story.
I don't know, but yeah, it just seems like comic book movies used to be an event. Like, I mean, Avengers is still going to be an event because it's the end of what it is. But I remember whatever movie came out around Free Comic Book Day, like that movie that came out in May, and I don't even think Avengers. I said Avengers is coming out in May. It's actually coming out at the end of April. It's you know, they used to, I mean, the comic book stores, they used to be in the theater. I feel like it's so much stuff now. It's no longer an event. It's just it's like Mission Impossible 3 or 4 or whatever is coming
like
out.
8
You
right
know,
now.
yeah,
Fast and Furious 20.
exactly. You know, which you know, even though he did the guy from Fast and Furious, he's the one that did the Aquaman movie. So Angel, your family. Speaking of an event, like which one or more of these movies, like you and the family are definitely going to go see outside of Avengers. I'll take that off the table. You know, that's an easy answer. Like, because people are even questioning like Star Wars. Like, they're like, people might not even go see Star Wars. Which me, as I'm not even going to say my age, but as old as I am, to be talking about like Star Wars is not a Star Wars movie coming out, the last of a trilogy, and it not be the most anticipated thing. It's kind of weird.
I was talking to Kinsey earlier about that. I agree. The enthusiasm is not there as the good old movies, to be honest with you. But let's be honest, man. It's Star Wars. At this point in time, it's a tradition. If I don't take my family to go watch Star Wars, it's like, you know, we didn't complete the year. You know, you have to. The truth is, you got to get some sort of conclusion out there. Mm-hmm. You know, and what better way to actually go out there and enjoy it in a movie theater? I could probably do it at home, but I'm not going to be able to wait that long. Yeah. I've been a Star Wars fan, you know, I think before I was born. I mean, everybody in my family, my dad, my brothers, everybody was like, you know, it was all about Star Wars. So it's a tradition. That I'm that excited about it? No, not yet. Maybe as it starts to catch on and the trailers start to come out, maybe it'll come around. Definitely Avengers is the biggest thing right now, at least for the family. What we love, however, is these horror things. So New Mutants, I think, is actually on the top of my list right now. And it's just because of the way the take that they're doing. I also grew up reading quite a bit of the New Mutants, and I got my wife hooked on New Mutants to the point that those comic books somehow ended on her boxes and not mine.
Just don't let her know about X-Force.
No, that too. X-Force, Cable, they're all in, somehow they moved the boxes. What's about that? I don't know. But anyway, so I think that's my number one this year.
Did we cut you off? Did you answer that?
Which one I'm most looking forward to?
Most or not, or
I
asked him most forward.
Not.
Yeah, well, because I mean, for him, if him and his whole squad is going, like you said, that's a big thing. So I kind of reverse it for you. Like, which one?
Yeah.
You know, you can pretty much. I can go see whatever you want. So which one are you like? Which one is like you probably won't go see?
Won't go see?
Yeah.
Well, I said the X-Men one.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You did. Sorry, I'm old.
No, you good. Yeah. Not that old.
And what about you?
I think for me, I'm a little more picky about it. I spend a lot of time like writing music, and that did throw me off for a second because I thought I didn't turn off my phone. I was like, that's my fault. I'm sorry.
I thought I did.
I spend a lot of time like on the road and playing music and whatnot, so I get really picky about what I'm going to go see. Mm-hmm. I feel the same way. The two with the horror band kind of pull me in, like this could be different. Mm-hmm. But I got like 8 years of Avengers I gotta finish up over here, right? And I thought I was gonna get away with that. I was like, oh, I don't need to watch Ragnarok. And like, I'm glad I watched Ragnarok because now I know what's going on. Then I found out, oh, we've been doing that the whole time. You just didn't. It wasn't as obvious until these last 2 movies that we've been building you up all these franchises. So now I got to watch Ant-Man. But
Oh, you haven't seen that, man?
I still never watched Ant-Man. It's
Oh,
like
you're
I
missing
like
out.
Paul Rudd, but I don't. So
What about, so you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp either?
no, I got to go watch both of those. I watched about half of it on the plane one time. The first movie, the Ant-Man. I watched about half of it on the plane.
Okay.
And I was like, it's Paul Rudd in a superhero movie. He's still being Paul Rudd.
So you might be a little bit different than probably us then. So what Captain Marvel, are you going to go see that?
I'm excited about that because I didn't think they were ever going to work her into the story in the first place. I figured they had their main 5, and they were going to keep coming back to Iron Man, keep coming back to Cap, maybe do like a thing where you mix Hulk into there, which they did with Thor. Because I know they can't do a Hulk movie. They can't do it.
Yeah.
They tried too many times. They realized that's not a solo property.
It's a curse.
Yeah, and Universal. I didn't hate the last Hulk
They
movie.
took it. They made it better than the first one.
Yeah.
They did a better job with it.
They did.
Yeah.
They had to add a lot more veins to them, I guess.
Yeah, and it's Abomination.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, CGI Rory dogs or anything.
So we're not going to get like Red Hulk, Gray Hulk, stuff like that. It's just
We
too
could get Red
complicated.
Hulk.
Well,
I mean, we're going way off.
you
subject.
talking?
no. I'm just saying it's way too complicated to work that stuff in. You'd have to do Hulk movies. You couldn't just
you
put
got
you couldn't
Ross
put that in the
there.
background of a Spider-Man movie or your new Wolverine movies when they switch that up and he's
We've already seen the general. All we need to do
Yeah.
is just
That's
we
what
already
I'm
know the
saying.
general. All we need to do is just
Yeah,
put
we
the
already got
plot
General
where
Ross.
he
He's there.
becomes the Red Hulk.
Yeah.
So
He's
we
been
don't
in
really
3
need the other Hulk. You know what I'm saying? And now we got the scrolls. It's just being introduced with Captain Marvel, which I am absolutely upset because this should have been done years ago.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like the lawyers just figured out how they could, you can't do Super Scroll, but you can still do Scrolls.
But Joss tried to introduce this Joss Whedon tried to do this long before. Even introduced Captain Marvel by the time of Age of Ultron, which I thought it was brilliant, giving this background and how they were actually developing the story. I guess everything has its time, but the scrolls should have been long before. Like Civil War should have been about this too.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. I mean, that was the movie we really deserved. Was actually the introduction of the scrolls, and then leading up to right now. We already know about the Kree. If you've ever watched Shield,
Yep.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So we don't
That's
need
cool.
any
That's
backstory
cool.
to that.
They
Right?
snuck that in there. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
My point,
Yeah, good
so
job.
we have all these things that are in there. Why not just bring them to life a little sooner? But I don't know. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully, this is just gonna be that plot that we need.
So am I the only one that's excited about the Spider-Man Far From Home?
Oh well,
No.
I'm always
No.
gonna watch.
Okay.
I'm always gonna watch a Spider-Man movie, and I think everybody agrees that Tom Holland is just.
Perfect.
I don't know how or why, but he fits, and the quips come out even better. I liked when Toby did them. I forgot the other guy's name.
Andrew
And-
Garfield.
Andrew.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
But when Tom Holland says it, like the line that killed me in the last Avengers movie, we're using our made up names. I was like, that's just Spider-Man. That's perfect. So yeah, I'll watch that. Well, I have to now. It's just gonna set up the next set of 10 movies, so I gotta watch it.
Yeah, because it's the new phase.
The one thing about Homecoming though is like I feel like he did not have that much. Like when he talks to himself, that it wasn't that enough for me. Like I kind of wanted a little bit more those quirkiness that you get from him. But oddly enough, on anything that's involved with the Avengers, you see a much more display of power, which is originally the dark side. Like the shadow side of Peter Parker. Like he always held back. But that's basically the concept. Those little quips, those little quirks that he actually puts out there. I'm hoping to see a lot more than in this movie.
I absolutely love that they established early on in the comics that he isn't just thinking these things. He's flying. He's like swinging around the city, saying this stuff out loud. Because he literally just be walking in an alley, and so people will be like, "Who's that guy talking to?" And I'm just kind of like, "Yes, he's just saying them out loud. Have him do them all the time." It's the best.
Now I'm concerned about Mysterio on this
I love the way. I'm glad they did.
Bubblehead. They have the bubble helmet.
Yeah.
I'm so excited
I
about
was
that.
excited about that as I was to see Black Manta with the big helmet.
Yes.
Like,
It's
because those
so
are
easy
things.
to mess up.
Yeah.
I'm like, please, somebody pay attention to details on this one, because, I mean, these are favorite stories from my childhood. So I'm like, I don't know, I'm skeptical about it, but I'm excited about this movie indeed.
I'm very excited about that. So what about, let's switch to the other side of the fence, and because this is coming up right around the corner. What about Shazam?
Yes, I'm excited for Shazam. Nope, you're not.
I don't know enough about it.
So
I really
Then
don't.
maybe it's a good movie for you.
I understand that it's a kid because I've seen some of the animated stuff, and I understand that there's some teaser of The Rock being involved in this somehow later.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna
But,
be
Potentially.
And Black Adam.
the
Yeah.
bad guy.
So I mean, it's a cool concept that I know very little about. So it might not be a bad thing to watch, bad thing to check out.
So like 5 years ago, would it matter? Let's say 10 years ago, would it matter that you didn't know about it?
No, same reasoning though. Like, I went to see Punisher because I knew, like, I saw Punisher in the theater. I had to pull some real strings because I technically wasn't supposed to be on that movie. I went to see that movie because I knew Punisher. I didn't go to it because it was a comic book movie at all. So if Shazam had come out even around the time Ninja Turtles was hot and comic books were cool then, I still wouldn't have probably gone to see Shazam because it wasn't my thing.
Okay. Like I think anything. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I used to just go see because a lot of stuff I didn't even know if they knew if it was comic books or not, but just because it was like in that genre, and it was just it was just such a void of that kind of content. I would just like gobble it up. I felt like I had to go see it. But Shazam looks I like the trailer. For me, it looks pretty good. I mean, hopefully this is another hit for the DC with Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and maybe this could be the start of like a new big three, which is so weird to say that DC's big three is Aquaman, Shazam, and Wonder Woman.
That's my problem right there.
It was
But you like it though. You like. I want to know your insight on it.
On which part?
On
Just
the fact that
Shazam?
that you're excited.
Well, I actually, funny, I never actually liked Shazam when I started reading more DC comics. Because originally when I was younger, I got involved in comics by Marvel. But when I got older, I liked the darker element that you see a lot more in DC with Red Hood and Constantine. And then I came upon Shazam and I was like, this kid in like middle school, he's in middle school being a grown man who's a god. I'm like, this sounds ridiculous. I'm like, you know what? It makes sense though. But I haven't read a lot of Shazam, but I am excited for the movie because it gives a different pace to what DC's known for. Because a lot of, like Aquaman, they had a beautiful balance of having such a serious tone, yet little quirky comments like he makes in the comments that are comics that are funny. But people just think DC's completely and absolutely dark. But Shazam's like he's a good character to show, like the Flash in Justice League.
Yeah.
You know, he had more comic relief than everybody else. And people who don't know a lot about DC comics will be like, oh, they're just imitating Marvel because they're funny. Like, I know people have said that. I'm like, no, a lot of them can have humor.
Marvelish, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
From what they have already
but
said,
I
because
mean-
Marvel started, so it's hard to say. You know, you look at something, you go, "Oh, that reminds me of Marvel." Are they trying to imitate it? But you know, it's the style of it.
I still say that I still say that Wonder Woman was the best Marvel movie that DC ever put out.
Captain America. The
Wow,
female Captain America.
that's rude. Okay.
Well, I mean, overall, it was just a good movie, but it's like whoever was in charge was just kind of like, should we make the movie fun? I don't know if people like fun movies. No. Let's try to make the movie more fun.
Well, that's the thing about Shazam. It looks so fun. Yeah, it still has a plot that you can follow with having a villain. It's not just goofy games, so that's a part of it because they are kids. It's a kid in a god's body. Like, you got to think about that perspective.
Like pretty much, it's like if Superman's body, a kid's brain.
Yeah, like what the hell are they gonna do? Like, what do you think?
What's the line? I got
It's like
bullet
big.
immunity. Like, bullet immunity? That's what you came up with?
So it's like a lot of people online. I think Aka's like Big, the movie Big versus in Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's great to finally bring a character like that to the table if they do it right. That's,
Yeah.
you know.
That's my thing.
Yeah, if
right
they
now.
do it right.
So I haven't read much. I came late to the game when it came down to Shazam. I meant more Shazam on the Flashpoint, and then I realized I needed to go ahead and go back
what's
in
the
time and
Flashpoint?
actually read and understand what was this character really about. I always gave him a really negative background. And it was turn around. Flashpoint is a little bit more of a serious, they're, bunch of kids.
Oh yes, yeah. I know. It's like
Yeah.
it wasn't just Billy Batson. It was like the Shazam family, and they came together.
Exactly. So it's a little bit different. So I had a different backstory for me. And then I read about it, and it was fun. I enjoyed actually reading a little bit more about it. But thinking about the upbringing of getting to know Shazam, to me, the pillar to that was actually getting to know Black Adam. And the fact that they're doing Shazam before Black Adam, to me, is kind of like they're embellishing more of that comedic or more of that upbeat versus the actual, the real plot, which is that dichotomy between good and evil, the Black Adam and, Shazam itself. It's a different take on it. And it's fun, but when you see the plot develop that way, and now you see it in the movie the other way, I was excited about the fact that, The Rock was like, all right, I'm going to do Black Adam. I'm like, I think he could do a good one, and if they did that first, I was totally up for it.
Yeah, if they would have did The Rock and Henry Cavill like a Superman, that would have been awesome. And then maybe introduce. But hey, I'm pretty sure DC has a great track record, and they obviously know way more than we do.
What was it, $1 million to make the suit?
Yeah,
So,
that just came out.
I know cosplayers would do that for like $400.
Oh yeah, no, I know quite a few cosplayers who have already made that suit.
My point being, and they did a $1 million suit.
So all right, let's keep it in the DC family. Anybody excited about the Joker? Like, is that a definite go see? Maybe not possible.
I'm just not gonna watch anything that has to do with the Joker until they just make it Mark Hamill.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Mark Hamill in the suit from Batman '89
Oof.
is done. You're done. That's the whole movie. You can let him win. I'll watch it. I want Batman dead by the end of it. I don't care.
Mark Hamill is one of the top
Just-
Jokers.
Oh,
That.
he's my favorite Joker. Mark
Yes.
Hamill's the best.
It's like
He's the Joker. He's the only Joker in my book, personally.
Same.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's got a little bit of Ledger. You like?
Oh,
I mean,
well, yeah.
it's not even like a swan song thing. He did a good job.
Visually, Ledger was definitely the guy. Let's be honest. I mean, he gives you that. I mean, if you read Dark Knight, if you ever read Dark, if you read just regular Batman, I mean, maybe not. But if you ever read Dark Knight, that is him.
Well,
okay.
he has shades of the animated series Joker.
Yes.
It's similar, and I think that's what works about it. Is like it's not just some like gangster gone crazy. It's not just some like mental patient. It's real focus wrapped up in this silly package that can't possibly be harmful. But oh yeah,
Very
it
deadly,
is.
yes. Now, Joaquin Phoenix, come on, he's a good actor.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of background into this too. I understand he's actually, they're doing a different type of take on what Joker's background is.
But I don't want to. I have issues with doing the Joker origin movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Especially if all your
Yeah.
other movies aren't going to go by that.
Yeah.
True.
Well, the thing is about the Joker too is not a lot of people know his background, and there are comics characters in them. They always have different backstories, different timelines, different everything, so they can keep things fresh. But it's interesting because you see this person, this comic character, all the time, and finally we're getting something to explain it. Some people don't like it because, like me with Han Solo, I didn't know a lot about Han Solo and his background. I didn't want to. I wanted him to remain mysterious because that's a big part of his character. So why not do that with Joker? But the artistic direction you're taking with the Joker movie keeps me intrigued enough to where I think I'll probably go see it just because I'm curious. But I don't think it's necessary. I think they could do something else.
I can live without it, but I'm with her in that sense. Like, just I want to see what this is a take.
Yeah,
It's
that's one of those
different.
things. Is as the reviews and the trailers come out, it might pull me back in.
The teaser's a little, I think, misleading.
The fact that Scorsese
I hope so.
is producing,
I hope so.
Yeah.
the fact that Scorsese is producing is definitely makes me like I feel like if I do go see it, I'm gonna go look at it as a movie, not as a Joker movie,
Yeah.
because it might look like it might be a good movie.
Scorsese wanting to participate in comic book lore is already like, what? Okay.
Well, I mean, out of like I think it was Newsweekly. I'm probably misquoting it, but out of their top 10 anticipated movies, I feel like I feel like 5 of the most anticipated movies were comic book movies. Like number 1 was Avengers, number 2 for some reason was Captain Marvel, and then and so on and so on. I mean, out of the 10, 8 of them were Disney properties. Go figure. But like Lion King was in there, Dumbo. So, of course, it doesn't surprise me that everybody wants to be part of the winning team. Everybody wants, the quarterback gets the girls. That's still, or
Everybody wants to be on the winning team when they're winning. But back in the 90s when we had to watch Quack Pack, ain't nobody was around.
exactly.
Ain't nobody was around for Tailspin.
Like Martin Scorsese would, a comic book movie. I did The Godfather, So, but yeah, now it's $1 billion. They're throwing up those B's. They're $1 billion movies.
Yeah.
And so, anything else? Anything else you're excited? So it sounds like we're not quite, at least for us, we're not quite at, I would say, fatigue. We can be a little bit choosy, but I feel like it's not.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's there. It's not as bad as the TV, because the TV is definitely, I feel like, comic book fatigue, and I can't keep up with all of it.
No.
But anything else? Any other outgoing comments about any movies? Anything that we didn't talk about that you are excited about or you're not excited about? Anybody excited about Alita Battle Angel?
I just don't. As a big anime fan, I've watched. I had once again had to pull a few strings to even get a VHS to watch that. Talk to the local rental guy, and he was like, "Oh, I think I can get it from a dude in Charlotte." It was dumb having to get those movies back in the day. It's cool seeing people want to do them, but also they were kind of done.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do Akira as a movie. It was already done. It was great. Battle Angel Alita was it was very good. You don't necessarily have to do it. I'm glad they made the eyes smaller.
It's Robert Rodriguez. It's Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron. That's exciting to me.
That's true. I haven't seen a Rodriguez movie in a while, and he's real choosy about stuff now. He doesn't just make Spy Kids every 3 days.
All right. So on that note, I think we're going to wrap it up. So any final words? You want to give your social media one more time and where people can follow you?
My cosplay Instagram is timelady_cosplay. You'll see all my shenanigans on there.
Any last words, Mr. Miyagi?
Not much. Just enjoy what you can. If you like it, if it's something that calls your attention, just go out there. Go watch an actual movie. Don't go beat by the reviews. Most of the times, you will be surprised. So.
I feel like we cover some cool stuff, and it makes me actually want to maybe go check out some of these I wasn't thinking so much about, maybe even Shazam. I got more music coming out this year. I'm going to be touring a little bit more. I'm going all the way to Chicago and back, which is weird for me. I don't like the cold. You can check me out anywhere you look for D&D Sluggers. You'll find it. It's either me or this baseball team from South Carolina. I don't want to even get into that. Follow my Patreon, DD Sluggers at Patreon, and don't forget my catchphrase.
I need to, off camera, I need to talk to you about Patreon, because we need a Patreon to keep this going. All right, so this is the Inquisitive Mind of Louis T podcast. Make sure you hit subscribe. You can search for me, IMoLT, on pretty much any social media, and it should pull up either the Facebook, Inquisitive Mind of Louis T, Instagram, I don't know it, but if you look up IMoLT, it'll pull it up, and it'll also search it on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I'll comment back, share with your friends, and we got some great content coming. Make sure you check out the old videos with Mackenzie. And it's not going to always be comic books, but it's always going to be something cool and interesting. And thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us.
All right. And y'all have a good one.
Yeah.